Happy April 2019 Collective Consciousness. This is Nicole Marie, your Astrologer and Transformation Coach, and this is the April monthly forecast from April 1st to April 30th, 2019. As you know, I love talking about the moon and how she empowers, transforms, and heals all wounds, for she is alive within you and all and every one of us. So this is the forecast for the month, where I'll dive in to talking about the lunar moons that are happening. As you know, I also do my weekly moon scopes for the collective and also for your personal rising sign. And so I dive deeper into how the moon will personally empower you. And this monthly mooncast, again, is for the collective to talk about the different astrological moon aspects, what's going on in the cosmos, give a little tarot reading to help give some guidance during the month, pull a goddess card, and of course my favorite, some unicorn magic. So I'm so happy that you are here joining with me and happy that you are opening up to your own cosmic journey. For we are in a time of great transformation, and we more than ever need to know the power of our magic, on how we integrate both our practical, logical mind with our imaginational, cosmic mind. So here we are learning how to look at the month in a way of planning for success, planning along with the cosmos instead of against it. This is the secret to all successful people when they have a connection to what is going on in the cosmos. Every great kingdom always had an astrologer and a storyteller to keep them connected to the soul. So this is why I'm here sharing my favorite tools. So as you know, we have a new moon in Aries on April 5th, 2019. Now, this new moon is really about releasing, letting go, and truly starting anew. This new moon in Aries really represents spring for me. It really will give us a sense of a complete rebirth. And what's happening previously before that new moon is there's a time of endings, of things that are no longer working, old patterns, old relationships where we are releasing so we can make room for something new. So don't be surprised if you have a lot of endings happening at the first week of March, if there are old things that you no longer want to have in your life. And this could also just be habits or food or, thought patterns that are going on in your inner world. Now, all of March was about really moving through our victimhood, because we had a lot of that Pisces energy that can get in to that archetype. But obviously, the light archetype of Pisces is the healer. So whatever wound, whatever that we feel we have become a victim to, we learn how to empower, heal, and transform ourselves through diving into the wound. So here we are at the beginning of April, really having to, it's like we have to pull out all the weeds and make the ground accessible to be fertilized, to plant new seeds. So this is really a powerful time of, again, doing this intense work of your shadow side, of what doesn't serve this new you, looking at this, your power struggles, your belief habits. And I want to say habits because we have beliefs that we're constantly trying to reaffirm, and some of those are not healthy. For example, I am alone and nobody loves me, or I'm not good enough. These are not patterns that we want to have as a daily habit. These are patterns that were brought to us or ingrained in our ancestral memory that we hold so dearly because we feel that it's part of who we are, but it's not. And this is the time where we, as a collective, are showing what no longer works. Now, I just want to say, we did the feminine thing way back before the patriarchal. There was the matriarchal, where we lived our life by the moon, where we had a deep relationship to nature. And as a collective, as an earth consciousness, we chose to then go into the masculine, where we went into the patriarchy. And I know that seems like a really hard concept to grasp, but you know, if we say that we're a victim to the man or a victim to the feminine, or we are a victim to industrialism and capitalism and consumerism, instead of asking why, as a consciousness, as a soul, did we choose to evolve in this way? Why are we choosing to be a victim? Why are we choosing? Why did we come in with this culture, with this skin color? What is it that we're learning? And those are big life, soul lessons that are helping us evolve. And I could talk about this for hours, but this is just the April monthly cast, and I just want us to look at the fact that we already have done so much polarity work, that we have looked at our shadow, that we have been the light, and here we are learning to integrate both sides. And this is what really this new moon in Aries is showing, that's going to bring up the old stories of the soul. Chiron is now in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer, the wounded hero that was not able to fulfill his quest, where he got stuck along the path of his hero's journey and did not return home to himself. Where have you not returned home? Where are you still stuck in what if I just did this? What if could I go back and change? Can I change now? Or is my dream forever lost? Who am I in all of the stories, in all the myths? Who am I, the single entity of self? How do I comprehend my own story? This new moon in Aries is awakening the wound that needs to be healed through your attention, through your dedication, and through your devotion. So this first week is about releasing. And after this new moon, it will be about cultivating new ground, planting the seed. Now all the ground has been weeded and pruned, and now you can plant those intentional seeds to see how they will grow. This is the time now. I like to bring in the fact that we have Jupiter going into retrograde on April 10th. Jupiter, which has been in Sagittarius since November last year. This is where our optimism, where we've had this leap of faith, where we say, yes, I can, and yes, let's move forward. Now Jupiter stops. Not stop functioning, but it slows down. Instead of it, rotating at its usual speed, it just slows down a bit. So what does this mean? It means that wherever Jupiter is in your chart right now, or wherever Sagittarius is in your chart, you're going to be looking at the real discipline that it takes to live your dream. As visionaries, as light workers, as people that are connected to the cosmic consciousness, we have a memory that we are made for magic. And this magic, with a whip of our wand, things appear. This is how the universe works. But we're in this physical plane, and things work in a different way, where we are part of an ecosystem, something bigger than just the self, but connected to the bigger self. And how are we all part of a thriving energy being? This is something that we're learning. So this Jupiter retrograde shows that it's going to take time to make your dream come alive. And it's better that way. A lot of people just want what they want because they think what they want is what they want. But what if you want a dream or a lifestyle or a relationship or a habit because someone told you long ago that this is what makes you happy? We're looking at our wants. We're looking at our desires in a completely different way. We're looking at, actually, do I even love doing that? Do I even like being that kind of person? Do I even want a relationship that is like this? We've been so focusing on getting what we think we want and being frustrated that it's not the way we want it, confusing all our wants and needs and desires instead of looking at what's real, what's necessary, what's thriving, what's pulsating within us. And this is the gift of this Jupiter retrograde, that we are going to reconnect to the natural impulse of the self, the impulse of what truly governs our life experiences. And again, we're all in this energy of fire, and fire is impulsive, is instinctive, but it's sensitive. It's delicate. Even though it may seem powerful and almighty, there is a superiority, yet within that is the inferiority, where we don't really know anything yet. We're the fool. And so by this full moon in Libra, we'll be looking at what needs to be completed in this cycle. What do I really need to release, complete, let go of in my desires? Because Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus is the goddess, the energy of our heart. And Libra is always wanting to balance, wanting to participate in the co-creation of will and desire. So full moons illuminate, shows our shadow, shows what cannot be hidden. This is a time to really awaken to what is the gift of me. What is my story? Then on April 24th, we have Pluto retrograde. Pluto's the soul. Pluto is the essence of who we are. In evolutionary astrology, one that I practice and evolve from, is always looking at Pluto as actually the energy of who you are. So wherever your Pluto is really the astrological sign that you can identify most with. So what this means when it goes retrograde is this is a time of soul retrieval, that there is going to be so many old identities, old feelings, old memories of lifetimes long ago that want to come back to help you. So we've created all this space. We've let go, and we're looking at what is it that I want? What is it that I desire? Where the soul truly knows. The ego, the mind, the culture, the everything else. Now, if we orient ourselves to living as soul beings in this world, now the soul is not just some spirit and doesn't have any rational or logical sense. The soul literally is the essence of the universe. It's what, when we talk about the universe lives inside us, our soul lives inside us, and the soul's part of the universe. It holds the memories of ecosystems, of structures, of universal law, natural law, all things that allow us to be part of the bigger system. So when we're looking at Pluto retrograde, we're going back to the truth of our soul. What is it that really wants to be born in this life? Instead of going into all the physical wants or the logical wants, or, I need to be this person in order to achieve my dream of being this. Where did that dream even come from? Have you ever asked yourself this? Where did that dream manifest and why? Is it truly what you want, or have you been living a lie? Not a lie to others, but a lie to yourself, which is the most harmful. And you probably didn't even know better. None of us really do until we wake up one day realizing, oh shit, that wasn't even my story. It was someone else. And on the very last day of April, Saturn goes retrograde. So not only Pluto, which is in Capricorn right now, and Saturn, which is also in Capricorn and is part of this whole 2.5-year structure that we're going in, they're all in retrograde. Saturn is going to go and look at our old lessons. Retrogrades is always about a time of going back, of reflecting, of reviewing, of redoing. And Saturn is, how did we used to discipline ourselves? Maybe we kind of let go of all the disciplines, all the rules, all the structures, and we go with the flow. And we see what really needs to happen, what we really want to happen, and govern our lives from there. So we have some really powerful movements happening during April. So first, again, I'll reiterate the new moon in Aries, which is this is a time to begin your new story. You've been living an old story. What is the new myth that you want to live? And we can talk about that more in my new moon storytelling forecast. And I also want to advise that I will also be starting a full moon storytelling circle via online. So this is going to be a chance for us to really work with our soul story. So April 5th, new moon Aries. April 10th, Jupiter goes retrograde. April 24th, Pluto goes retrograde. April 30th, Saturn goes retrograde. So the tarot cards that can help guide us during this wild energy season, the overall energy is reverse devil. This is what I was talking about. What is that shadow? What is that want, that desire, that expectation that binds us, that chains us to a world that we don't even want to be part of? You know, we talk about the patriarchy as if we're a victim to it. Yeah, but we called it in. Why? What did we want to learn about power in the masculine way? And how are we remembering our feminine power? And how do we merge them? Because this is not the time to start telling all the men that they're wrong. This is not the time to start telling all the women that they should fight. This is a time to learn how do we integrate what we've already cultivated through centuries and centuries of experience. How do we integrate ourselves? And this is what we keep talking about, why people are doing the shadow work. Why are we asking for this lesson? And I just want to give one big radical concept. Long, long ago, many, many, many moons, we all were born in the beautiful land of Africa. These are where our ancestors come from. Ancestors, even the terms of mushrooms, of bacteria, is our greatest and oldest ancestor, meaning that yes, we have come from particles, from cellular structures. And that meaning if we all came and were born into the, however we want to associate the skin of Africa, and what was needed during that time to survive was the beautiful dark skin that the cellular structure created to adapt to the beautiful land. And as we migrated, we went up to northern places where the skin needed to be a different kind of protection. And that all of a sudden we have created a world that we are separated by skin, that there is some sort of difference between them and us, other and everyone. And I want to tell you this, that we all come from the same place, that there is no right or wrong, that there is everything that just is, and that if we accept those parts of ourselves and where we come from, and to know that we are all magic, that the devil is not something to be suppressed, but the devil is something inside of us that is unlovable, and that we need to love that part of ourselves and everyone else in the world. And this is the kind of activism that I'm talking about. This inner declaration saying yes to all the parts of me and all the stories that have told me that I was wrong. That is what we're letting go of. Every child, every part of ourselves knows that what has been going wrong in the world. There's people higher up that, come from a different breed of consciousness, and we need to advise them and to awaken them and to not think and put more anger out there, which I have to say, Aries can get very angry because it's so sensitive. Imagine all the monsters in the world, how vicious and wild and crazy they are. Why do you think that? Because they are so terrified. Because there is something innocent within them still that they are trying to protect. That Aries is trying to protect our innocence. And that is clearly the hero's journey. When the hero, which is always Aries, is a time for new truth and a time to seek deeper wisdom. So this Devil card is really showing how we're releasing these chains. We're releasing and we're saying no. Fuck no. We are saying no thank you. Because I choose to integrate everything that is unlovable in me, and I choose to love it. No one else needs to, but I have to. And this is where the world shifts and changes. The conflict to this month is reverse 9 of Cups, that our dreams, our desires, our wants and needs are not coming the way that we expected to. Why do you think that is? Because our wants, our needs are probably not even our own. So this is why we're going into all this retrograde, not only on the soul level, but in our masculine. Saturn is very powerful and usually rules the patriarchy symbolism. Where is the patriarchy not working? I think that's very clear for a lot of people. But other people will start slowly waking up to why is it not working for them personally. And when people personally have an experience of what's not working, this is a time of growth. By the end of the month, as I spoke before, Saturn goes retrograde. And this might be quite intense, the first couple days or weeks of this retrograde, because the energy is reverse 6 of discs, which feels like you have nothing left to give. You do not have any resources, you don't want to share, you're holding everything in because you're trying to control it. Saturn is also very much about controlling. Why do you need to control? Right, to protect something. So constantly look at the other side. And this is what alchemy is all about. When we're able to see pain and suffering in the other and know that all that is needed is love and surrender. This is an incredible time for inner and outer activism, for you to do the inner work and question why. Where does it come from? Is this me or is this them? Do I really believe in all of these things that the world tells me? Or can I believe in something else, something new, something different? Is there another way that I can have discipline in my life instead of scrutiny and punishment and all these other things? What if I just was disciplined to my soul? That I knew that every morning I had to wake up and I had to go outside and say yes to the world. What if that was my discipline? That my discipline was to have a better relationship with not only with myself, but with nature, with trees and the world. So this is really a powerful time of new stories arriving to the world. Now, the goddess that will help guide us this month is White Tara, and she's all about sensitivity. She says, you are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. I spoke to a New Zealand healer a couple years ago. He kept talking about, we really need to remove ancestral patterns and to awaken and to, release so we can step into new vibration. And I raised my hand. I was like, I had this urgency and I had to know. And I raised it. I was like, how do you know when you've let go of ancestral patterns? How do you know you let go of karma? And he looks over. It's like, he said, you become sensitive. Even more so. Even more sensitive. I was like, oh, great. I'm already sensitive enough. Not to him, but internally. But it made sense. The past couple years, I've done a lot of work around ancestry. I moved to Europe 5 years ago to discover who I was, who I came from, where I came from, the culture. And ever since, I've grown so much more sensitive. I can't do the things I used to do, like be in really big crowds and go and do these cool things. I'm like, I'm sorry, my soul just won't let me. I have to be quiet. I have to be still. I need to go hug a tree today because that's the only way my pure will resonates. So this is what I'm talking about. If we all become more sensitive and more compassionate, there is no way we're going to have war. There's absolutely no way. If you felt what other people felt, you would not want to cause them pain or anger or hurt because you would feel it. You don't want to hurt yourself, so you don't want to hurt another. The unicorn magic for the month is abundance. Enjoy the bounty of life. Your supply is unlimited. Blessings are coming your way. There's a lot of work to do this month, and I'm happy to be here to support you, to guide you. And thank you for being here, for listening. So if you want to learn more about yourself with an astrology reading, or if you want some coaching to help you coach through this incredible season, you can look at my work at www.nicolemarie.eu. You can also email me at hello@nicolemarie.eu. Until then, be brave, dear hearts, for we are in a time of great transformation. Until then, know that I am just a message away. Blessed, blessed, blessed be.